There are more ways to experience Guam via KUAM News, giving you what you want, when you want, and how you want it. From smart devices, Alexa, what's in the news?
Here's your flash briefing.
Over the web, on mobile, on streaming platforms, with immersive, interactive formats, and via social media where it's more than just content, it's conversation. More ways to keep you informed and entertained whenever you want it, wherever you are, on whatever device you're using. KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, serving Guam for 80 years. Matson and the Adahi Tanu program. Cars Plus reminds you to put your phone down while driving. Distractions won't get you there. Heads Up Guam, IP&E, fueling excellence. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it, and King's Restaurant, located in Tamuning and Dedido. Always open, always local.
Coming up on Guam's Primetime News, the Cannabis Control Board met for the very first time. Nestor Lecanto has that story. Plus, the last of 3 people wanted for questioning in a string of robberies and thefts has self-surrendered. And a continuing outbreak of Shigellosis on Guam has public health on high alert. Carmen Victoria Terlahi has more on how the island's most vulnerable are at risk. Have a day, everybody. I'm Jason Salas. Thank you so much for watching or streaming us. These are tonight's top headlines. Well, in a highly anticipated meeting, the group responsible for coming up with the rules and regulations for adult use marijuana gathered for the very first time today. The law set a very aggressive timeline for the Cannabis Control Board, as that group has less than a year to come up with a plan on where, when, and how pot can be consumed. Nestor Lecanto has our top story.
The 9-member board is made up of 6 representatives from government agencies and 3 from the private sector. They include Reventax Director Daphne Shimizu, Agriculture Director Chelsea Munya-Brecht, Public Health Director Linda Umpinko Dinorsi, Behavioral Health and Wellness Center Director Therese Areola, Guam Visitors Bureau President and CEO Pilar Leguana, and Police Chief Steve Ignacio. The private sector members are Attorney Vanessa Williams, businesswoman Ursula Herrera, and Will Parkinson, who is also a medical cannabis card holder. By law, they have just 1 year, from March 28, 2019, to come up with the rules and regulations and a host of other provisions for recreational marijuana use. Member Will Parkinson is confident they can do it.
I think there's a political will from the legislature and the governor's office to see this done, and so I think we'll see the support necessary, and we have some true believers on this board who I think can definitely push this through, where before we might not have had the same gumption to get it done.
But this board faces a daunting task. If the medicinal marijuana rules and regulations are any indication, public health took several years and several versions to get that work done. Attorney Vanessa Williams says board members showed their resolve by accepting the governor's call to action.
We have a legal duty. We consented and took these appointments and were impaneled. And I think we take that responsibility very seriously. The law says that we shall adopt rules and regs. They shall not be overly restrictive or onerous so as to hinder the industry, and I think we all take that duty very seriously.
Williams was voted board chair, DRT Director Shimizu was elected vice chair, and Ursula Herrera will serve as secretary. The board expects to meet at least once a month or more, depending on its progress. Subcommittees were also set up to coordinate such things as public awareness and economic issues. For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
Also tonight, an attempted break-in at the Santa Bernadita Church up in Jigo was caught on video. The Archdiocese of Agana is confirming the incident happened Monday night, as in the clip, an individual can be seen walking around the church grounds and throwing an object at doors. GPD has been notified about the incident, and if you have any information to help solve this case, please call Guam Crime Stoppers. Their number is always 477-HELP. That's 477-4357, or on the web at guam.crimestoppersweb.com. Well, 17 workers who filed wage and hour complaints with the Department of Labor finally got their paychecks. KUAM News was on the scene at the Verona Resort and Spa in Tumon today as employees were given paychecks. DOL Director David Della Sola said the agency's priority would be to get employees paid. He also adds the agency will look into Verona's track record of labor complaints. The hotel, as you know, had employees file similar complaints in 5 of the last 6 years. Local labor lawyer John Bell said according to wage and hour policy, the Department of Labor can do more to hold employers accountable for wage and hour violations.
My advice to employers is, like Verona, is, pay your employees on time,
within 7 days of the pay period, because the law is very clear that there are very serious consequences if you don't. And that's my issue with Department of Labor, is that just systemically, they really don't advocate for employees in general. They've just become HR for the business community on Guam.
Almost all the staffers received full wages due, with one employee saying she was shorted $179, but hotel accounting staff said she would be paid in cash today. Things became heated, though, when workers found out they would be paid their last week of wages due on May 10th. For the time being, De La Sola says a 12% collection fee the Department of Labor can levy will not be handed down because the agency did not have to physically seize Verona funds to pay workers. The law reads that DOL, quote, shall be entitled to a collection fee to be paid by the employer in the amount of 12% of wages due and collected, and to offset the cost of the people of Guam to enforce provisions. Kathy Salenga tells us all the workers who filed complaints are quitting their jobs. She also says Verona ownership should be held accountable.
They should pay all the penalties that they need to pay to the government.
Also tonight, the founder of an organization that aims to address sexual harassment and workplace misconduct in the federal judiciary is on Guam to deliver a speech before the Guam Bar Association. The irony is that an ethics investigation into a Supreme Court justice allegedly involving similar issues is ongoing. Chris Barnett has our next story.
Today's keynote speaker at the annual district conference and Guam Bar Association meeting was Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals law clerk Diva Shaw. Shaw founding Law Clerks for Accountability to address sexual harassment and workplace misconduct committed by judges in the federal judiciary. We asked Shaw how the media can respect the confidentiality of the ethics complaint process against judges and at the same time report what we know to the public.
For a lot of young men and women within the judiciary who have considered reporting these instances, if they don't feel like there is an adequate response from within the judiciary, we have heard of other women who are interested in speaking to the press, and then that will become a whole separate issue.
Chuuk State Supreme Court Chief Justice Camilla Noket confirming what many in Guam's legal community already knew. Are you aware of an investigation being conducted into an ethics complaint or not against Judge Torres?
Yes, I'm aware of that. I've heard from some sources that the investigation is going on.
Are you aware of an incident in the CNMI at a Pacific Judicial Council event where a woman alleged that she was sexually harassed? Are you aware of that incident?
Yes, I'm aware of it, but I cannot conclude that it is it or not until investigation is made.
Well, the local judiciary could not provide any information or confirm an investigation because issues like these are supposed to be kept confidential. Shaw said judicial organizations like the Pacific Judicial Council should have rules in place to ensure the safety of attendees at federally funded events.
These associations should also take care to see how they could be a part of having some sort of code of conduct or policy that they at least put out so that people are aware that a conference necessarily doesn't mean you can just act in an unprofessional way.
Noket, meanwhile, confirms that the alleged incident leading to the ethics complaint is making the PJC review its policies regarding sexual harassment.
In fact, we'll be having a meeting, executive meeting in September.
Noket agrees that because PJC training events use federal funds, there will be more scrutiny into the conduct of PJC members at these events. For now, Shaw confirms word of the investigation into Justice Torres has not yet reached the Ninth Circuit. Are you aware of any investigation or complaint against Justice Bob Torres of the Supreme Court of Guam?
Not specifically, no more than I read one article before I got here.
For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
Also tonight, in light of a slew of sexual misconduct cases against kids, senators plan to bring back the Lanny Kate Task Force. Public Law established the group nearly a decade ago, with the last report having been submitted in 2013. Legislative Speaker Tina Rose Munya-Barnes sent a letter to the AG, who previously headed the group, to invite members back to the table. Barnes says the task force must be, quote, re-energized to create thoughtful, comprehensive policy to end sex abuse on Guam. Also tonight, William Yam Nang turned himself in as he, along with two others, were wanted in connection to a string of robberies and thefts. He was arrested for the incident that occurred at the Baltej Pavilion in Tamuning on April 14th when a man was robbed while walking to work. He was also arrested in connection to an incident that occurred at the East Agana Pavilion on the same day. In that incident, he was booked and confined. Also tonight, a 10-year-old and two 14-year-olds locked up at the Department of Youth Affairs are charged with stealing a car. The incident occurred in Agani Heights on the 27th as information provided another teen led to the police to the suspects. The Juvenile Investigation Section took the three minors into custody, with the three facing additional charges of being beyond control, conspiracy, and criminal facilitation and theft of property. Please stay tuned, everybody. We are back right after this.
There are more ways to experience Guam via KUAM News, giving you what you want, when you want, and how you want it. From smart devices, Alexa, what's in the news?
Here's your flash briefing.
Over the web, on mobile, on streaming platforms, with immersive, interactive formats, and via social media where it's more than just content, it's conversation. More ways to keep you informed and entertained whenever you want it, wherever you are, on whatever device you're using.
A simple handshake. That's all Jake Calvo needed when he started his company. Today, 80 years later, we like to say thank you to all of you who have taken our hand in trust. Thank you to the dreamers. Thank you to the realists. Thank you to the family-oriented. Thank you to the entrepreneurial. Thank you to those climbing the corporate ladder. And to the ones starting a new life together. Thank you to the traditionalists and the edgy. To the young at heart and the old souls. Thank you to the daring, to the protective, to the practical. Thank you to the hopeful. To all of you from all of us, our deepest, happiest, and infinite thanks.
80 years here for you. 80 years thanks to you. Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust.
The next generation Galaxy has arrived. See it and believe it. The Infinity O display is the most innovative Galaxy screen yet. Capture the wider world. Take stunning photos with a 123-degree field of vision. Use your phone to charge other wireless charging devices. Don't just stand out, stand apart.
MTO, professional janitorial services with a warm hospitality touch. MTO gives that gift year-round. Pressure wash roofs, pressure wash driveways, lawn service, home cleaning, carpet restoration, office cleaning, commercial window cleaning, floor care. When cleaning is in order, MTO has you covered. Call 647-6861 to inquire on how you can receive the maintenance you deserve.
MTO, celebrating 30 years with you, Guam.
Visitors make memories on our island. They contribute millions of dollars every year to our community. So what does that mean? Tourism keeps our island's culture alive.
And it strengthens our identity as Chamorros.
Tourism creates opportunities for local businesses to thrive.
The dishes I create feature local ingredients.
These ingredients come from local farms and create local jobs for farmers like us.
For every job we see in tourism,
there are hundreds more we don't see.
From teachers
to babysitters
to engineers.
We all work in the tourism industry.
Our visitor industry benefits everyone. It improves our income and gives back to our community.
Meaning more opportunities for a better Guam.
Kids and works for Guam.
Hi there, everybody. An ongoing outbreak of Shigellosis has Guam's public health agency on high alert. Carmen Terlahi has more.
Keeping a close eye on an outbreak of Shigellosis. Dr. Ann Pabutsky, territorial epidemiologist at the Guam Department of Public Health, says the number of reported cases is increasing.
We've had a total of 29 cases all of last year, and we're already up to 15 in the first 4 months of 2019. That's why we're bringing up this issue.
Most cases of shigellosis, an infectious bacterial disease caused by the bacteria Shigella, affect children under the age of 15. Some, even less than 5 years old, have been rushed to the ER and hospitalized.
2/3 of the cases are children. 1/3 of those cases are children under 5, and those are the children who are most at risk for Shigella, which is a bacterial infection that is caused by exposure to Shigella through someone who's sick, and it's usually through fecal material.
People usually get sick after putting something in their mouth or swallowing something that's come in contact with contaminated stool. Symptoms can include diarrhea, fever, and cramps, though shigellosis can sometimes go unnoticed.
And some people won't have any symptoms at all. They can be just carriers and spread it to other people, but it's prevented by careful hand washing, soap and water, especially if you're sick, you shouldn't be preparing food for anybody else.
While 4 cases are still pending investigation, preliminary data from public health says 3 cases on Guam were linked to overcrowded housing, 1 to a lack of indoor plumbing, and 7 were sporadic. Her advice to prevent the spread: wash your hands with soap, practice food sanitation, and good hygiene.
What we're trying to do is encourage the community to be really, really vigilant about hygiene and sanitation, especially if you are living in a crowded household, or your children go to daycare centers, or if you work at a daycare center, or if you have no indoor plumbing. If you're eating or preparing food, wash your hands. If you're changing diapers or taking care of little kids, or kids who are sick, wash your hands. Don't swallow water when you're swimming out and are hiking.
Healthcare providers are urged to be on alert and report cases promptly to the Bureau of Communicable Diseases. Reporting for Guam News Network, I'm Carmen Victoria Terlaki.
Also tonight, why doesn't anyone trust Port GM Roy Respicio? That was a question asked today during the agency's board meeting. Members Tony Chagalaff and Maria Taitano raised a point about Respicio, saying he doesn't run things through the agency's legal counsel and then asks the board for approval. Taitano has been asked to resign by Governor Lulian Guerrero, yet Taitano has refused to step down. At one point, Chairman Frank Santos asked board members why they don't trust Respicio. Santos says board members always ask questions and give Respicio a hard time. He says board members should just trust and respect the former senator. In other news tonight, the dedication plaque for the lone sailor statue down in Adelup remembers service members who helped in Operation New Life. And today marked the anniversary of that historical day in 1975, when more than 100,000 South Vietnam refugees came to Guam. Members of the U.S. Navy, Marines, and the Coast Guard rescued thousands at sea and built tents for displaced refugees, including then 14-year-old Juan Nguyen, who is now a captain in the United States Navy.
They've taken the American way of life around the world and shown what a great country and the values that we have are. And so as we stand here today and we look at this loan, the image that I remember vividly when I arrived at Camp Asan, which is now the Asan Beach Park, were American sailors and Marines toiling in the hot sun, setting up tents and chow hall, distributing water and hot food, helping and caring for the people with dignity and respect. Those images, I thought to myself how lucky I am to be in a place like America.
Nguyen was the only survivor of his family of 6. He says returning to Guam, what he refers to as the Ellis Island of the Pacific, is a homecoming, and the lone sailor statue is a reminder of duty, gratitude, and pride for serving in the United States. Governor Lulian Guerrero today, speaking of Adelup, signed an executive order meant to establish a potential multi-billion-dollar aquaculture industry. She's put together a task force of government experts to set the table for private investors to make Guam the aquaculture center of the Western Pacific. The island's chief executive figures it's $25 billion global industry, and our region alone represents $7 billion of that.
To see the revitalized. I mean, and we can do it. It's not a difficult. It's not difficult business. It's not a difficult industry to do. It's great for sustainability, like the acting lieutenant governor said. It's great for job creations for our people. It's great for our young students and our young entrepreneurs to go into that business. I'm excited about this industry.
The task force expects about $99,000 in federal grant money for a strategic plan. The experts are a multi-agency group. Well, state funeral services were held downtown today for former Sinania Commissioner Alfonso Pangilinan. According to a legislative resolution, Pangilinan was an Army vet who first began public service as the Assistant Commissioner of Sinania in January of 1965 through December of 1967. Senator Amanda Shelton is, of course, the legislative secretary and spoke about the commissioner's endeavors.
To January 8, 1973, the late Honorable Alfonso Matanani Pangilinan then served the municipality of Sinahanya as its commissioner, now known as mayor. And from 1975 to 1978, the late Honorable Alfonso Matanani Pangilinan served at the governor's office under the Berdalio Sablan administration, and he had also served as a passport office director under the Berdalio Regis administration.
Pangilinan survived by 5 children, 18 grandchildren, and 20 great-grandchildren. In other news tonight, May is Mental Health Month, and the governor signed the proclamation before a crowd of stakeholders at Adelup Monday. She's a medical professional herself, of course, and says she authored a law while serving in the legislature to bring mental health services on par with medical services on the island.
It was called the Mental Health Parity Law, which says to the health insurance company that whatever benefits you give to the medical side of the health insurance, you have to just as equally provide that service to mental health, which then puts it in a much more equitable.
The governor says she hopes to expand services at the facility because of the importance of mental health.
Of drug addiction, and how do we help people who are going through the withdrawals of drug addiction? Therese, no less than 1 month, comes back to me and says, Governor, I found the money, I found the place, and I found the personnel. And all I need is DPW to come and fix our aircon and make it work. And Jesse Garcia came and made it happen.
And finally tonight, a story about Youth Fest, as the weather was perfect for that event. Hundreds of youth came out over the weekend for the annual carnival outreach held at Chamorro Village, featuring musical entertainment, dance performances, an art logo contest, and much more. It's hosted by Sanctuary and coincides with April being Youth Month. This year's theme was Manhoban Strong. Stay tuned, we're back after this.
What's that? An Alpha Insurance customer needs a claim settled immediately? I'm on it. Agent Alpha.
In the event of an accident, theft, or breakdown, each of our Alpha Insure agents are trained to go above and beyond.
This is my stop. There she is. Target acquired. Agent Alpha.
Yes!
Looking for a great deal on a new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram? Then get to Cars Plus in Mighty now for our spring sales event. Like a new Jeep Compass Sport, $166 per paycheck. Or a new Chrysler Pacifica LX, $220 per paycheck. Or save $8,500 on a new Ram 1500. How about a new Jeep Wrangler Sport? Only $274 per paycheck. Low 1.99% financing is available on approved credit. Save thousands during our spring sales event going on now at Cars Plus in Mighty. Cars Plus, driven by you.
At Island Cancer Center, we treat our patients and their families like our family. We have all been touched by cancer, and it is important to feel comfortable and secure under the care of our health professionals. You can count on us for skilled cancer specialists, the most advanced cancer-fighting technology on the island, and a commitment to caring for you or your loved one with compassion, respect, and empathy. Our family, treating your family.
Island Cancer Center, located on Guam Medical Plaza. Visit us at islandcancercenter.com or call 646-3363.
Now there's a technology that's lighting the way to a new mortgage for people all across Guam. Introducing Simplify Mortgage by Bank of Hawaii, Hawaii's leading lender. Simplify Mortgage by Bank of Hawaii lets you apply for a home loan anytime from any device, making the mortgage and refi process faster and easier. Or work hand in hand with one of our residential loan experts. So put the power of choice and control in your hands. Simplify Mortgage by Bank of Hawaii. Welcome to tomorrow.
KUAM Sports is presented by Triple J.
What's up, Guam? Dave Delgado here for KUAM Sports, brought to you by Triple J. We get the show started tonight with some slinging news as students from the elementary, middle, and high school level gathered at the Tees and softball field this past weekend for some competition. Check it out. 10 schools were represented at the first of many sling competitions to hopefully be part of GDOE and their tomorrow activities. The slinging went down at the Tees and softball field with targets set up at different distances for elementary, middle, and high school participants.
They're here because they believe in this sport and they want to participate, and they're having a blast, as you can see. And it's really a pleasure to see them walk in the footsteps of our ancestors.
For safety issues, Mr. Ton Diaz created stones that were suitable for the young competitors to use. They were replicas of what our ancestors used.
They're actually made out of silicone and cornstarch, aka proto-putty, and we shaped them into the sling stones that we know that our ancestors used. It's a safety issue. We certainly can't use stones here. We got students and kids. And for safety reasons, we went ahead and used that type of projectile.
The slings used for the competition were made out of paracord and done by students and faculty from the various schools.
There's certain variations, a certain type of materials that they're using, mainly paracord and other types of strings like fiber type strings like jute twine maybe, and some probably gone as far as the pago bark fiber. That they make their slings with.
Mr. Diaz says the long-term goal is to one day have slinging in the Micronesian Games and to also open up the sport to all ages.
So we'd like to see this also become an interscholastic sport, kind of like what we do with volleyball, basketball, and things of that nature, those sports. This is our sport. This is our culture. This is what we know our ancestors did. As the history, it's also in the history books. The kids are really having a blast. They like the sport, and I think it's enough. It's enough to make it a sport, as far as I'm concerned.
In bowling news, Lito Teodoro was crowned Senior Bowler of the Month for April with a 206-163 with handicap over Liz Solis. This is the second straight month. The finals pitted two top seeds going head-to-head for the monthly title. The next monthly tournament will take place Sunday, May 26 at 11 in the morning at Central Lanes in Tamuning. Under the new rules, the tournament qualifier will be based on the participants' Friday night Senior League scores, which count as an entry.
Pulses per minute. That's the rate of your heartbeat when you were born. And as you grow up, you'll get to meet your awesome crew from over 164,000 people on this island. Together, you'll explore some of Guam's 210 square mile land, where you'll get to enjoy hundreds of things to do, from climbing the highest mountain and more, to exploring the deepest trench and more. But that won't be enough for you, so you'll travel more than 1,000 miles to experience 1,000 more things, in more places where you'll meet more faces, until you meet that one person with whom you'll be doing 1,000,000 more things with, until you bring another heart that would beat 180 pulses per minute, and we'll be there, giving you more data for more of those experiences.
Autism Community Together of Guam is a support group for individuals with autism spectrum disorders and their families. We are a group of parents and caregivers who have children with autism spectrum disorders and understand the joys and challenges in raising them. To learn more about ACT or to join our family, call Joe Bloss at 687-1284. Send an email to autismcommunityguam@gmail.com or visit us at Autism Community Together on Facebook.
Triple J says yes. Easy financing? Yes. Easy trade-in? Yes. Fast and friendly? Yes. Find the car of your dreams like our Mazda CX-3 at only $19,995 or the Honda HR-V at only $180 per paycheck. Get top market value on your trade-in, explore payment options that work for you, and get pre-approved instantly. We'll even go the extra mile to deliver your vehicle to your home or office. Triple J says yes. Just click, pick, drive, and purchase your next vehicle at triplejguam.com today. Triple J, customers first.
Let's get right to tonight's birthday shout-outs, everybody. Here is who we're celebrating. If you were born on April 30th, and you're let off tonight by the lovely Aliana Lee, who turns 10 today. Love, mommy, daddy, and all of your brothers. Tomas Edward Duenas II has a birthday today, and happy birthday, TJ. Hope you had a great day today. May the good Lord continue to bless you with many more wonderful years to come, says your family. And also Arlene Perez, we love you, Auntie R, says your fam. Not the family, but the fam. That's important. All right, also equally important is that you can be part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club. Just go to KUAM.com and register. Please stay tuned. Carmen is up next with Health, Home, and Lifestyle.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&E.